Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. I'm one of the students learning Masters of Project Management at Open University in Malaysia, but facilitated by Summit University in Mogadishu. I'm going to present here my research assignment, in which I'm going to describe the positive team communication role in project success. First, I'm going to express my gratitude to our faculty dean, Yunus Ali, who's also the subject lecturer at the university. Regarding to my executive summary, this is a coursework assignment required by Center for Postgraduate Studies, Summit University, specifically Research Methodology course. The purpose of this assignment is to enable the students to enhance their knowledge on the following. A. Identifying the problem statement and research gap. Second, crafting the research objectives and research questions. C. Assessing the published journal article in developing the theoretical and conceptual framework and write literature review. And finally, selecting the most appropriate process, design, and research method. Introduction. This chapter will detail about different subtopics like background of the study of positive team communication and project success. My case study will be humanitarian NGOs operating in Mogadishu, Somalia, the objectives of research questions, scope of the study, problem statement, and research design and methodology of the study, of the impact of positive team communication and the project success. I will also discuss my study will also examine how poor communication and lack of collaboration within every team working in an organization, company, or project can trigger a failure, so that we will focus on humanitarian and relief organizations operating in Somalia, particularly those operating in Mogadishu, capital city of Somalia. My background, the only thing that continues and exists in all phases of project implementation and post-implementation is communication. Here, I'm explaining that the communication is the background or the backbone of every activities conducted by a project or a program, organization, or a company. You can see that the project goes different stages in like planning to project closure. From all these stages, the only thing that can make project move from a state successfully to another state is the communication plus positive team collaborations, and this makes the communication the center of the project success, as we all know. Communication is perhaps the most important tool in achieving effective project coordination. Coordination and communication are closely related, but are distinct in their respective scopes. Coordination includes the broad range of project activities related to the management of the people and resource, while communication is the flow of information to support the project activities as practiced in meetings, telecommunications, and written documents. Good project communication might be broadly defined as the free exchange of accurate and relevant information among the right individuals in a timely manner. Good communication among project team members should be clear, honest, open, and frequent, but not excessive. Therefore, achieving effective project coordination depends on the communication skills of participants and their ability to tailor their communication style and techniques to projects at hand. Effective communication saves money and enhances reputation. In projects, some people manage and implement project activities while some others invest in projects, and other institutions or some other people make use of final outcome of every project. All are called stakeholders, and the stakeholders make communication respectively. The only way that all stakeholders can be satisfied is to gain a very competent team with good collaboration that can bring about positive team communication in order to attain the final objectives and goals of project success, which led the people to end successfully. Which lets the project to end successfully. So, we can simply call trust between team and better collaboration of positive team communication must be backbone of every project success. Let's come to teamwork. Teamwork can also be accounted for or explained as a group of people who are equally in need of one another to realize a collective goal, as according to PH 2001. It includes obligation, alliance, clear purpose, and goals. The team members' promise, liability, and abilities are some of traits desirable in team members in order to achieve their common goals. Consequently, effective cooperation needs team members to commonly come into agreement on ethics of behavior, project planning, and distribution of roles and managing tasks such as scheduling and decision making. Deciding on this issue will assist to alleviate any misunderstanding during the team life cycle. Johnson & Johnson explained positive team as having a set of interpersonal relationships structured to achieve established goals. The advantages of interpersonal relationship are that they boost relationship and cohesiveness among team members. It could also bring about an optimistic, demonstrative atmosphere where team members respect each other on a personal as well as professional level, providing better and increased productivity, accountability, enthusiasm, determination with responsibilities and commitment to gain team goals. Therefore, to increase chances of team success, it's important to identify effective and efficient teamwork to determine the key reasons that could hinder team from working together as a group. In my assignment, the problem statement, many projects end in failure in one stage of the project stages, and as a result of hopes of a project success ends in a nightmare. Also, NGOs which are involved in and important for their existence for the success of the project collapses for one major reason, which is poor communication triggered by shortage of collaboration between team working in an organization and of course projects. The flow of information does not go to the needed level for a project success. The expertise needed for the project success are not seen within different teams of the project because of poor communication. Poor communication results loss of communication, proper communication lines for humanitarian sector, mainly national and international governmental relief or aid organizations operating in Somalia, particularly those operating in Mogadishu in a bid to assist destitute and displaced people is very important and crucial for not only their day-to-day activities and ensuring their operations implemented, but also that their project ended in success. Poor communication affects proper end of humanitarian activities in Somalia, particularly in Mogadishu. Absence of team that communicate positively in order to attain final objectives of the projects and organizations and to end the project success is the only problem which exists in Mogadishu. Thus, this study research is best way to figure out such problem. My research objectives are as follows. First, to define effect of positive communication on project success. To explore how positive communication influences project success. To find out positive teamwork impact on communication on project success. Research questions. How many communication affects project success? And how communication affects project success? I mean that. How positive communication influences project success. That's my research objectives. The scope of this study. Following collapse of last central function of government in Somalia in 1991, there have been many international aid organizations pouring into the country early days after civil wars escalated in the country, mostly south and central Somalia. As soon as possible, local NGOs, which were non-governmental organizations, emerged to collaborate with the international community relief organizations in order to reach far and remote areas where the INGOs could not afford and mostly vulnerable Somalis lived. So, in my research study, we'll examine who other organizations operated in the country, and my scope area of the study will preferably be in Mogadishu, while the scope content is the study of positive team communication and project success. My case study, of course, regarding my forthcoming case study, which really is humanitarian NGOs in Mogadishu and possibly Somalia. The timeline of the scope is from January to December 2021. Research method. The researcher here will be selecting an approach or method that will be helping smooth research and researching. The researcher will be using qualitative method. He will also use both descriptive and explanatory method of researching for data collection and analyzing. Sampling technique. 50 respondents will be selected from the target population. This number will be chosen according to their capacity of the research. A convenient sampling type of non-probability sampling method will be applied for selection of the study sample. Development of an instrument. The researcher of the study positive team communication and project success. Case study will be humanitarian NGOs in Mogadishu. Somalia will be developing. I will also be developing tool questionnaire to guide questions that will be asked to the respondents involved in the research. This instrument will easy for the researcher to collect the data, and it will simplify the respondents to respond questions in sequence and use the tool. In this regard, the respondents will be asked questions relating to positive team communication and project success. Data collection method again. Questionnaire will be the first, primary, and the important tool to be collected data from the respondents of the questions in the questionnaire. In this regard, the structured questionnaire will be used as the most vital tool to data collection from the different groups or target groups involved in communication, team working, and working in aid and relief organization in Mogadishu. The researcher will be using or focusing to use closed-ended and few open-ended questions in the questionnaire. In this case, questionnaire will be self-administered to allow further probing and clarification of unclear issues. Data analysis and interpretation. Afterward, data were understandably studied, edited and summarized qualitatively and quantitatively, viewing the percentage. The data will thereafter be presented in tables and figures. Data will be analyzed and processed electronically using statistical package for social scientists, which is SPSS. In my conclusion, this research study has shown the significance of positive communication between a team working in a project or organization for any success. That programs, projects, and any organizations. It also highlighted the leaders or managers of every project or organization have to anticipate and concentrate on building trust of the communication team in their organizations or projects. That's because communication is the best backbone of organizations and projects, which the managers can satisfy and convince the stakeholders, whether they are inside the organization, project or company, or outside the stakeholders, by providing pertinent information of the outcome of the projects and programs and their successful closure or end. Thus, any information or reports must be product of good communication between the team of groups of personnel or individuals working in the same organization, company, or project. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening my presentation.